Rocket Lab's agenda at Wallops Island is to manufacture and launch the new reusable Neutron rocket. The 140-foot launch vehicle is designed to lift 13 tons of payload. Neutron's unique design, materials, propulsion, and reusability make the rocket ideal for access to space. This is Cosmic Era. The company announced in March 2021 that they were developing a new medium-lift, two-stage human-rated launch vehicle called Neutron. Neutron is expected to be 40 meters, 130 feet, tall to 4.5 meters, 15 feet, diameter fairing. It will have 13 and 15-ton capacities. Rocket Lab has said they are going to aim to make the first stage of the vehicle reusable, with landings planned on a floating landing platform downrange in the ocean. This method is similar to how SpaceX recovers the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets. Background history. Neutron launches are intended to take place from the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport, MARS, on the eastern coast of Virginia. Rocket Lab is expected to modify the existing launch pad infrastructure at Launch Pad 0A LP0A. In March 2022, Rocket Lab announced that Neutron will be manufactured at a facility adjacent to Launch Complex 2 at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport. Launch Complex 2 is currently being used for Electron launches. Rocket Lab began to break ground for this facility on 11 April 2022. As of March 2021, the company is planning for the first launch no earlier than 2024. The actual money that Rocket Lab stock spend on Neutron rocket. Rocket Lab expects to spend about $200 million of the cash gained from going public to develop its next-generation rocket Neutron. Rocket Lab aims to launch Neutron for the first time by 2024. The projected cost of flying with Neutron, a fully reusable medium-lift rocket that could perform its first launch next year, is slated at $50 million. In comparison, SpaceX's price per flight is typically $67 million. Rocket Lab has differentiated itself by developing 3D printing technology and now performs multi-continent launches of its Electron rocket. Now with its Neutron rocket, Rocket Lab is eyeing the medium lift sector. The future rocket, in addition to delivering various payloads, is being positioned as a vehicle for transporting astronauts and cargo to the International Space Station. Funds for Neutron rocket. In January 2022, Rocket Lab, a private aerospace manufacturer and small satellite launch service provider, had secured significant funding through various channels, including private investments, government contracts, and public offerings. However, whether they had enough funds specifically allocated for the development of their Neutron rocket would depend on a variety of factors, including their financial resources, fundraising efforts, and the projected cost of the Neutron program. Rocket Lab, as a company, has raised significant funding through various avenues, including private investments and public offerings. However, whether they have enough funds specifically earmarked for the development of their Neutron rocket would require looking into their financial reports or recent announcements. As their financial situation, Rocket Lab is funded by 13 investors. United States, Space Force, and Vector Capital are the most recent investors. Rocket Lab announced plans to develop the Neutron rocket in March 2021. Aiming to create a medium-lift launch vehicle capable of delivering payloads of up to 8 metric tons to orbit. To fund the development of the Neutron rocket, Rocket Lab could leverage its existing financial resources, which included previous fundraising rounds totaling hundreds of millions of dollars. Rocket Lab has been actively securing funds for the development of its Neutron rocket program. The company announced plans to develop the Neutron rocket in March 2021, aiming to create a medium-lift launch vehicle capable of delivering payloads of up to 8 metric tons to orbit. To fund this ambitious project, Rocket Lab has utilized a variety of strategies. Private investments. Rocket Lab has a history of successfully raising funds from private investors. This includes venture capital firms, strategic partners, and high-net-worth individuals interested in the space industry. These private investments provide Rocket Lab with capital to support its research, development, and testing activities related to the Neutron rocket. In addition to private investments, Rocket Lab had secured government contracts, including agreements with NASA and the U.S. Department of Defense, which provided additional funding for its space initiatives. These contracts could potentially contribute to the development of the Neutron rocket, although the specific allocation of funds would depend on the terms of the contracts and Rocket Lab's strategic priorities. Rocket Lab had demonstrated a track record of successful fundraising through public offerings. In August 2020, Rocket Lab completed a merger with Vector Acquisition Corporation, a special purpose acquisition company, SPAC, resulting in Rocket Lab becoming a publicly traded company listed on the NASDAQ stock exchange under the ticker symbol RKLB. This merger provided Rocket Lab with additional capital to support its growth initiatives, including the development of new launch vehicles like the Neutron rocket. However, it's important to note that the development of a new launch vehicle is a complex and capital-intensive process, and the projected cost of the Neutron program could exceed Rocket Lab's existing financial resources. In such cases, Rocket Lab might explore additional fundraising options, such as debt financing, strategic partnerships, or further public offerings, to secure the necessary funds for the Neutron rocket's development. Moreover, Rocket Lab's ability to efficiently manage its resources and control costs would also influence its capacity to build the Neutron rocket. By leveraging its experience in developing and launching small satellite launch vehicles like the Electron rocket, Rocket Lab could potentially optimize its processes and reduce the overall cost of the Neutron program. Revenue from existing launch services. Rocket Lab generates revenue from its existing launch services, primarily through its Electron rocket. By successfully launching satellites for commercial and government customers, Rocket Lab generates income that can be reinvested into research and development efforts, including the Neutron rocket program. Overall, Rocket Lab has been actively securing funds from various sources to support the development of its Neutron rocket program. This multifaceted approach allows Rocket Lab to diversify its funding sources and mitigate risks associated with large-scale development projects in the space industry. Neutron rocket, if you recall, is Rocket Lab's response to SpaceX and its uber-successful Falcon 9 reusable rocket. Reusable like Falcon and boasting a 13-ton payload to low Earth orbit, about half of Falcon's capacity, Neutron will be a medium-lift vehicle outclassing all of Rocket Lab's small rocket competitors while occupying a potentially lucrative slot in the range of available lift capacities between small and large rockets like SpaceX's Falcon 9 or Ariane Group's Ariane 6 or United Launch Alliance's Vulcan. Such progress comes at a cost, however. In the 4 quarters prior to its Neutron announcement, Rocket Lab averaged about $10.5 million in research and development spending. Since Neutron was first announced in late 2021, there's been a notable increase in R&D spending, to just under $18 million per quarter and just under $24 million in the most recent quarter. Indeed, R&D spending in Q1 was up 77% year-over-year, growing twice as fast as revenue. Admittedly, Rocket Lab has several irons warming in several fires, in particular in its fast-growing space systems business, which focuses on building satellites and satellite parts rather than the rockets that help get them to orbit. So probably not all of Rocket Lab's increased R&D spending is necessarily going into Neutron. Still, seeing as Neutron is Rocket Lab's highest profile development project, it's likely that the bulk of the R&D spending is going to Neutron. So how much is it going to cost Rocket Lab to bring Neutron to market? With the admission that this is all very back of the envelope, I calculate that since Neutron was announced, Rocket Lab has probably spent a total of about $40 more than its current pace on R&D work. And if we assume that Neutron takes flight sometime in mid-2024 or roughly 5 quarters from now, then I suspect the company will spend anywhere from an additional $40 million to $65 million more before Neutron is ready. Predicting profitability. Predicting the profitability of the Neutron rocket would involve analyzing various factors such as production costs, operational expenses, launch pricing, market demand, and competition. Without access to Rocket Lab's financial data and projections, it's challenging to provide an exact figure for its potential profitability. However, Rocket Lab likely has detailed financial models to estimate the profitability of the Neutron rocket based on these, considering its potential revenue streams, operational costs, and market competition. Neutron rockets, known for their heavy lift capabilities, can serve a range of payloads including satellites, cargo for space stations, and even crewed missions to the Moon or Mars. Firstly, revenue generation depends on the demand for launching payloads into space. With the increasing number of satellite constellations, space tourism ventures, and government missions, there's a growing need for reliable and cost-effective launch services. Neutron's capacity to lift large payloads positions it well to capture a significant share of this market. Secondly, operational costs play a crucial role in determining profitability. Neutron's use of methane as fuel offers potential cost savings compared to traditional rocket fuels like RP-1 or liquid hydrogen. Additionally, its reusable design allows for multiple launches, reducing per-launch expenses. However, maintenance, refurbishment, and infrastructure costs must be carefully managed to ensure profitability. Market competition is another factor. While Neutron may have a unique niche in the heavy lift market, it competes with other players offering similar services, such as SpaceX's Falcon Heavy and Blue Origin's New Glenn. Pricing strategies, reliability, and customer relationships will influence Neutron's competitiveness and profitability against these rivals. Moreover, partnerships and government contracts can significantly impact Neutron's profitability. Securing long-term contracts with government agencies or strategic partnerships with commercial space companies can provide a stable revenue stream and enhance credibility in the market. In conclusion, while Rocket Lab had access to significant financial resources through private investments, government contracts, and public offerings, whether they had enough money specifically earmarked for the development of the Neutron rocket would depend on various factors, including fundraising efforts, the projected cost of the program, and Rocket Lab's ability to efficiently manage its resources. On the other hand, as we conclude, the profitability of the Neutron rocket is the profitability of a Neutron rocket depends on its ability to attract customers, manage operational costs, compete effectively in the market, and secure lucrative contracts. With careful planning, efficient operations, and a strong market position, Neutron has the potential to be a highly profitable venture in the commercial space industry. Thank you for joining us on this cosmic journey. For more updates on space exploration, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.